Hey, this is Andrew Brown from Exam Pro, and we are going to be looking at Azure Firewall, which is great for protecting your virtual networks. So what we'll do is launch an instance, and then we will use Firewall to protect it, and then we'll connect through the Firewall to our server there. So what I want you to do is make your way over to virtual machines. This will also set up the virtual network that we will need. So I'm going to go here and add a new machine. I'm going to make a new resource group. This one I'm going to call Cardassia. And what I will do here is name this Cardassia Prime. And this is in Canada East. I think that's totally fine. If we're going to do that, let's do that. We'll probably want to use a Windows Server 2019. To get there, go to Windows Server, choose Gen 2. For this, we'll have to choose something like a D2 v3. That's what I find the most cost effective because you have to have at least two CPU vCPUs and 4 gigabytes to run that. So that's probably the most cost effective I can find. We're going to type in Azure user here, testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 with a capital T. Okay. Scroll on down here and everything else should be fine. So we'll go ahead and hit review and create. And then we'll go ahead and create. Now we're going to want that firewall. So what we're going to do is make our way back to our resource group. So if we click here and we go into overview, it should show us that virtual network. I guess it's still creating it. So we're just going to have to wait here a little bit for that. Usually it's pretty darn fast, so I'm surprised the VNet is not there. If it's not there, we'll take a look over here into virtual networks. There we go. And so we could go to Firewall and create it that way, but I find it a lot easier. I'm just going to show you if I go over here. You can create it here, but I find that it's a lot easier to create it from the blade because then it'll put it in the same resource group and fill in some of the things for us under the virtual network. So on the left-hand side, we'll go to Firewall, click here, and it's going to pre-populate some stuff for us, as you can see. And so what we'll do is name this, Space Defense. And we'll stick with standard. You also got premium. There is a difference in price there. I'm not really sure. There's firewall policies and classic rules. I'm going to stick with classic rules for the time being. I'm not sure if they'll really show you on the exam whether it's going to be policy and rules, but you just generally have to know how to set up a firewall here. We need the virtual network name. I really thought this would have filled it in. And so what I'll have to do is just open a new tab here. And it's called Cardassia VNet. This is already a resource with the same name and type with the current resource group. Oh, sorry, use an existing one. That's my problem. I thought I had to fill it in. I'm being silly here, so we'll just hit next there. Must have a subnet named Azure Firewall Subnet. That's totally fine. So what we'll do is just right-click up here and make our way back to our VNet. And we will go to subnets. And we have subnet and gateway subnet. We just want a regular one here. And what we'll do is grab this name here. Whoops, won't let us do that. Azure Firewall subnet. And hopefully it'll tell us more what we need to do there. So we need to fill in more stuff here. This is 10.0.0.20/24 is our default. So I'm just going to try 10.0.0.3.0/24. Is not contained in this virtual network space. I hate networking. I've done tons of stuff on this stuff, eh? Maybe I have to set up the address space first, so we'll go over here. Yeah, we don't have one yet. So we'll go 10.0.3.0/24, and we'll say, okay. And then we'll make our way over back to that subnet. I think that's what it wanted first. At this point, I don't remember anything. It's all muscle memory, right? So I just know what to type. Azure Firewall subnet, and we want the range 3. Yeah, we just defined it, so it auto-filled us in for that. So that is good. I don't know if we need to set really any of these other things like network security group and stuff like that. So I'm going to go ahead and save that. And I'm going to make my way back on over here. And we will choose the Cardasia. Oh, we can't use that IP address. I guess we will add a new one. Hold on here. We'll just back out here because it's quite messed up. And we will go ahead and try this again. So Cardasia, space defense. Stick it to standard. We'll go with rules. We'll use an existing virtual network, so we'll drop this down. And it doesn't want to show me anything today. Oh, it's in the wrong region. I don't know why it's doing that. So I think it's in Canada East. And we'll go back here, Cardasia. We're going to need a new IP address. Firewall IP. Go ahead and hit OK. Force tunneling to create an additional subnet for firewall managed traffic. The subnet will have direct access to the internet. I don't know if we really want that right now. We'll go ahead and hit create. And we'll just wait here and I'll see you back in a bit. So our firewall is deployed, but we're going to actually have to set up a route so that our subnet actually goes through the firewall. So what I want you to do is right click on your resource group there. And from here, we are looking for our virtual network. We'll open that up into a tab so that we have that as a reference. But what we're also going to do is open up another one because we need to go into our subnet and into our default one, we need to override the route table. Now, if you remember from my lecture content, route tables do have default routing, but we are going to explicitly overwrite this with our own logic. So what I want you to do is type in route tables at the top here. And we'll add a new route table. For me, this is going to be in Cardasia, so we are in Canada for this one. And for the name, we're going to just say firewall route. And propagate gateway routes. I think that's okay. Yeah, we'll leave that on there. That's fine. Great. And so we'll go ahead and create that route table. Once that is finished deploying there, we'll go ahead and hit go to resource. And on the left-hand side, I want you to make your way over to the routes. Over to the subnets. And we're going to go ahead and associate our VNet here. And we will choose our default. And I believe we have to do both. So I'll just give that a moment to create. And I'm going to go ahead and associate my other one, which is this one here. Oh, sorry, we don't need to do that just yet. But we do need to associate the default there. So what I want you to do is make your way back to your subnets here. And I'm going to click into this. And now we have this firewall route table. We didn't select it prior, but we'll go ahead and save that. And so now that that subnet is saved, we can go ahead and add some routes. I'm going to make my way back to my firewall route here. I'm going to make a route. I'm going to add a route. And in here, this is going to be firewall. I don't know why I named this firewall route. This should be route table, but this will be firewall route. And I'm going to drop this down to virtual appliance. This is going to be 0.0.0.0/0 because we want to go to the internet. And under our virtual appliance, we need to choose the next hop. So the next hop address, I think, is the IP address. So I think we'd have to go over to the firewall and find it there. So this is the firewall. It should have a private IP address. There it is. So I'll copy that there. We'll go ahead and paste that on in. And we'll hit OK. And I'll just click off and click back here. I'm just going to wait for that route to show up. Let's see here. There we go. There it is. And so now all our stuff is hooked up. And so we are ready to set up some rules. All right, so let's set up some classic rules. I wasn't really sure what to set up here, so I pulled out the trusty docs and I got some good examples for us to go through here. So for an application rule, this would be like if you want to, say, allow this address through like Google. Network would be something like DNS servers, and then a NAT rule is going to allow us to do the RDP. So let's go here and set up an application rule first. We'll call this the Google collection rule. I'm going to say 200 here. We're going to go down to targets, and I'm going to put allow Google. We're going to set the source type, and the source is going to be whatever the VNet is for the default here. That's 10.0.0.2 or 10.0.2.0.24. So 10.0.20 or 4.0/24. We'll do HTTPS www.google.com. So that's that one. We'll go to our network rule. We'll set this one up next. This is for CenturyLink. And they have some DNS servers there, so that's what we were setting this up for. We'll say 200. Under the IP addresses, we're going to say allow DNS. And the protocol is going to be UDP. We'll have the source IP, again, 10.0.2.0/24. The destination IP, we have them over here. I'm just going to copy them on over. And then the port is port 53. We'll go ahead and hit add. Last one here. Oh, didn't like this one. Another operation on this is dependent. Which one did it fail on? I'm not sure. It might have not liked the fact that I was doing one at or two at the same time. We'll give that a better look here. It's not saying why. This rule created. We can give this one another go. Make sure it's not doing anything else. Okay. And we'll try this one more time. So we'll say collection rule CenturyLink. Under here, we'll go here and again allow DNS. 10.0.2.0/24. We will say, oh, we didn't select it. It's going to be UDP here. The destination IPs, we'll just copy them from here. So that is 209.244.03, 209.224.04, and we'll put in 53 here. And I'm just going to double check to see if I was missing anything. I don't think so. That's pretty much everything there. So we should be able to create that. We'll hit add again. Oh, yeah, we'll set 200 up here. And we'll see if we have a better chance this time around. Again, probably should wait between them, but there's just so much to do. I like to just get to it, eh? I think that's probably what the problem was. We'll go over to our NAT rule and we'll take a look here. And for this, we will just call this RDP, NAT collection rule. We'll set the priority, as always, to 200. For the name, we'll just say allow RDP here. The protocol is going to be TCP. And for this, we'll do 10.0.2.0/24. For the destination address, that's going to be the public IP address for the firewall. So we'll have to go over here and then make our way back to our firewall. So we'll just type in here. And we'll click into here. We'll go grab our public IP address. Let's click into here to get it. There it is. And we will paste that in as the destination. For the port, it's 3389. That's for RDP. For the translated address, we need the private IP address for, I'm not sure. Let me see here. Oh, that's going to be our virtual machine. That's probably what it is, right? So I just thought about that. It makes sense because, you know, what else would it be? So we'll go over to our virtual networks. Actually, we'll just go over to our virtual machines. And we will click into here. And I would imagine that we need the public IP address, right? No, probably the private. Sorry. I keep on changing my mind here. It is, where is it? there it is. Because it'd be under a private network, you wouldn't be connecting to it publicly. That wouldn't make any sense. And probably the port would be the same. Yeah, it's the same. There we go. And if that looks all good, we'll hit, what does it want? It's not going to let us take it. No, maybe it's because we were creating something at the same time. Let's go see if our NAT rules is there. Okay, great. So we'll give it a refresh. I don't trust it. I'm going to give it a hard refresh. And we'll try this one more time. So we'll go back to our NAT rule, RDP, NAT, 200, allow RDP. I always thought RDP was UDP, but I guess not. 10.0.0 forward slash or 2.0 forward slash 24. Destination IP is the public IP address of the firewall. So we'll go back to our firewall. We'll click into here. We will click into here. And there it is. And what is it? 3389? 3389. And then we need the private IP for our actual virtual machine, which was 10.0.2.4. There we go. And it still won't let us hit add. Why not? Oh, it doesn't like the translated address. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, that should be it. Huh. Okay, we'll double check here. I'm just not very confident about this. I'm just going to hit refresh here. We'll go into this. That's the address, so it should just take it. I don't know why it's giving it a hard time. Is there a space in front of it? Oh, there we go. That's our problem. You think they just truncate it for you there. So now we can go hit add. And so we'll just wait for that rule to finish, and then we can go ahead and test a bunch of stuff. Okay, so our last rule is there. We have all three. Now let's go give it a go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make my way over to our virtual machine. I'm just going to close some of these tabs so we can clean up here. And so I'm going to go back to our virtual machines here. I'm going to click into here. And what we're going to do is change our DNS servers for the network device. So what I need is to go to probably networking, and there it is, the network interface. And then we can go to DNS servers, and we can change this to custom. So that's what we were doing earlier when we were doing that CenturyLink stuff. So I'm going to just go grab those addresses there. So we have, it was 209.244.03, and then 209.244.04. And we'll go ahead and save that. Great, and hopefully that propagates very quickly. I'm never really good with DNS servers, so I could not tell you if that's the case. But the next thing we'll need to do is actually remote into that desktop there. So I'm going to just open up remote desktop connection. And what we can do is provide the IP address of what we want to connect to. And so we want to connect through the firewall, so that's what we're going to do. I'm just going to move that off screen. I'm going to go grab our firewall IP address. And we want to go to firewall here. We're going to grab that address there. I'm going to paste it on in. And I don't know. I mean, we do have a username. It's Azure user. I don't know if that's what we need to type in here, but we'll see. I rarely ever open remote desktop connection like this. Usually I just press a button and it works. And we'll see if it lets us connect here. Oh, and I guess those DNS settings were still going. Remote access to the server is not enabled. The remote computer is turned off. The remote computer is not available on the network. I'm not sure about that, but let's just double check our server here, making sure that it's nice and warm and woken up. So what I'm going to do is just go to my virtual machine here. I don't think it has a public IP address, so I shouldn't be able to use it this way, but we'll give it a go anyway for fun. I'm expecting it not to work in this regard here. And noticing that it can't seem to establish a connection. So that's probably, yeah, there we go. So that means, that's good. That means that it has to go through the firewall. So we have to just kind of figure that out. Why it's not working through the firewall, I don't know. So I'll have to do a bit of debugging here. All right, I'm back, and so I figured it out. I just reviewed the rules that I set up and just made sure they made sense. And I realized that this here I set as the source to the default subnet. That doesn't make any sense because you want the source to be something like anywhere on the internet. So all I did is I just updated this to be an asterisk. You could also put your own IP. That'd probably be more secure. I just didn't want to do that. I just made it that. So just do that, save that. With the new asterisk in the source. And so coming back to our remote desktop connection, again, this is the IP's address for the firewall. If we want to go find that again, what we're going to do is go up to here and, oh, we already have it here. So if we go to firewalls, click into there, click on the IP address. It's that 40.86.204.105. So bringing this on over 40.86.204.105. And I have the Azure username. If you don't see it, hit the show options there. If it's on Mac, I do not know what the experience is like. We're going to type in testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, capital on the T. We'll hit OK. We'll say yes. And now we should be able to connect to it. If we go down to the internet here, the idea was that we wanted to test the google.com. So we go google.com. This is blocked. What if I give it the www. So the firewall is working. This is the application rules here. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to easily fix this here, but we can give it a go for 2 seconds to see if we can make any kind of difference. We'll go here and edit the rule, but I'm pretty sure this is right. So we have allow IP address 10.04.0.24. Is it 04? Why was I writing 02 before? 10.02. Oh, it's 2. Okay, maybe that's me again. Okay, so we'll go here. We'll just change this to 2. It's not going to work if you don't set the rules right. We'll go ahead and save that. Did I set that one wrong as well? Let's go take a look here. That's 2. Okay. Minor mistakes. It's great to learn some debugging here. And so we'll give that a little bit of time here, and then we'll see if it works. All right, so our firewall there for our application rule has updated. We go back here and just give it a double check here. I think I have it 10.0.2 now, so that's all correct. Let's go see if we can now connect. I still have RDP open here. I don't know if I have to close and reopen. I don't think I would have to, right? We'll give it a go here and hit enter. Look, and so that's different. So that's good. Content from the website listed as being blocked by Internet Explorer Enhanced. So this, if I will add it there, and we'll say add, and go back here. Oh boy, G static, sure. So Google works, that's perfect. And if we go to Microsoft, that's not going to work. And that's perfect. So that's what we wanted. That was everything we wanted to accomplish with this firewall here. We didn't look at firewall policies. We could try taking a look here. I'm not sure what we could see here, but it looks like we can migrate it over. So let's just see what happens if we do that. Let's say create this policy here. And I'm not sure how fast this will be, but I'll see it back here. We'll take a look at what the firewall policy looks like. Okay, so it looks like our policy is all set or migrated there for our rules. Let's go take a look and see what that looks like. So it looks like pretty similar. So we have our application rules, our network rules, our NAT rules, rule collections, policies. It looks a little bit more broad. I imagine the other thing is that we might be able to associate these to other things. Is that the case? If we go over to firewall policies here. Yeah, there it is. So that seems like it'd probably be a better thing to use than classic rules. I'd probably go with that. It looks like you can just easily add stuff there, so it's not a big deal. You get a bunch of extra stuff. So yeah, that's firewalls there. So we'll just go ahead and tear on down all this stuff here. I'll make my way over to Cardassia here. We'll go ahead and delete that resource group, and we will delete. And that should get everything. That's good. So there you go.